Namaskaram, and you're watching Sadhguru Darshan YouTube channel. Today is Dhyanalinga Consecration Day, 24th Anniversary. On this auspicious day, come let's soak together in the grace of Dhyanalinga with Sadhguru.
One important reason why we started this process, which we call as Aradhana, is because the energy of Dhyanalinga can become like a solid wall. It can become so intense that for those who penetrate through it, it will be wonderful. Others will sit in the temple but will sit outside the energy. It can become like that because it is so intense, it's almost physical. I don't know, now that many of you are having a dip in the Tirthakund and then going into the temple, I'm sure some of you must have felt when you enter the temple, it's almost like a physical thing, it hits you. If you're sensitive to it, it's almost physical. Because the field of energy that gathers around the linga is so intense, it can be like a strong wall. If you penetrate that, you will be wonderful, otherwise it would be not available for a lot of people simply because of its intensity. If it was of a weaker intensity, then a lot more people could enter. So twice a day, we are sort of cracking this wall by using certain sounds, sometimes melodious sounds, sometimes bad sounds, discordant sometimes very melodious. We are Isha, we are like this. We have people who have no music background of any sorts doing music. That's the miracle of Isha. It's very positive on one level, could be very frustrating on another level. But it's good, it at least disillusions you. And it works. So the sounds that I'm making, melody is only relevant to the people. The melody of the music that they produce is only socially relevant for the people who are sitting there. But as far as the purpose of making the sounds is fulfilled, even if they are discordant, because the idea is to disturb something there, which is manifesting itself into something very intense, almost like a solidified presence, so that it becomes little more accessible to all people who enter. Twice a day, we just little shaking it up. You could just do it with a few shouts, and some can take kitchen utensils, make noises and do that too, if you do it intensely enough. But we want to use that as an offering also, so that it becomes an offering. Because in a state of offering, a human being is most receptive. Why always? In the Indian way of life, doesn't matter how poor you are, your children have not eaten for 10 days, but if you go to the temple, you must offer something. Not because God wants to eat your banana or coconut. If you don't have bananas or coconuts or whatever, you must at least offer a leaf. The idea is that you go with an intention of offering. You go as an offering. When you go as an offering, you're most receptive to what is available there. So the times of Aradhana, because they are a time of an offering, definitely it's the most receptive time for people. For those of you who are unable to experience Dhyanalinga for what it is, if you're struggling with it, the best time for you to be there is definitely Aradhana time. One thing is because we are loosening the structure, surrounding structure in a certain way. Another is, it's a time of offering, and that is the most receptive state to be in.
Educational video is a virtual medium that helps people in understanding the concept better with Sadhguru.
Many thousand years ago, there was a yogi whose name was Sunira. We believe Sunira was just the next generation after Saptarishis. He lived and worked in the mountains, which are presently in Nepal. And he took on an impossible project. Sunira saw that human consciousness could be evolved if you produce a perfect human being who could render this to all sorts of people. In a way, he comes from the tradition of Shiva. Somewhere it's his dream to build another being like that. He wants to build a living Shiva once again, a perfect teacher for the world who is completely multidimensional, not this kind of teaching or that kind of teaching. As Shiva explored the whole human consciousness and human body in every possible way, he wants that kind of a living being. So he started building the energy body for that kind. And then he believed that he could build a physical body on top of that and let him loose in the world with a lifespan of a few hundred or thousand years, so that he will transform the whole world by the time his time is done. So he started working on this project. And of course he died unfulfilled. So here and there, down these 40,000 years, many ambitious yogis picked up the same project that Sunira had left and tried to reconstruct this energy body of a perfect teacher who can transform human consciousness. They call him Maitreya. Maitreya means a friend, a true friend to the humanity, to come and change humanity, the world teacher. Generation after generation, many yogis tried to continue to work on the same half-made project of Sunira. It's always been in the yogic lore, but in the last century, it came to the surface. It came to social knowledge because the Theosophists worked on it. An innocent Leadbeater and Madam whatever her name, I can never pronounce, Blavatsky. All three of them took this project up. They said, we are going to make it. They amassed a vast amount of occult knowledge, probably for the first time in the last few hundred years, and definitely for the first time, not in a traditional way but in a modern way. They took up this project. And they tried to locate this being, this unfinished project. They want to take it up and complete it. some work was done. They had the knowledge, but they did not have the capability. They acquired much information, but they could not acquire the necessary means to do anything like that. Twice they made serious effort to simply declare that they have completed the project, the perfect being has come. But it did not work. Another parallel line was also being drawn for the last couple of millenniums, where another set of yogis who were aware of this Sunira's glorious but quite impossible project, they started working upon a similar force to create a similar possibility, but with a completely different understanding of the same, creating a perfect being, but not as a human being, not in human form, because putting it into a human being as such a possibility, human system has all the capabilities, but still it doesn't have the necessary integrity of boundary to hold it.
There are previous experiences of creating or attempting to create Dhyanalingas in many places. Any number of projects have started in the last 2000, 3000 years and they've been abandoned halfway because of some problem or the other. In Bhojpur they attempted a Dhyanalinga about 1,000 years ago, little more than 1,000 years ago. This was supported by a local king, so it was hugely funded and they built a magnificent temple which is half done and the rest of the plans they drew it on the stone, because there were no drawing boards. They flattened up a rock and they made an elaborate plan of the temple in all detail, the architectural thing on the stone. They had a grand plan, beautiful setting and everything. But half completed, it stopped because of certain things. The lingam itself, they worked on it for more than 3 years. They had 14 people working on it, one yogi who started this whole process. But this yogi worked for over 2 years and produced these 14 people, 7 men and 7 women. Of enormous or extraordinary accomplishment. And they started working. They created this lingam almost 95% done. But at that time an invasion happened. The invaders came. Found these people in certain states which whatever looked prickish for them. And they attacked. When they attacked, his left foot was chopped off. Because of this damage in the body, he could not continue. So he decided that they will merge themselves into the lingam and complete the work. So they asked another yogi, trained another yogi to lock the energies. This yogi left their bodies and merged into the lingam. But the other yogi who was supposed to do this was so overwhelmed by this situation that he could not lock it. Because they did not lock it in time, the lingam just cracked up. Even now you can see it's a straight crack in the lingam about 3 to 4 inches is just opened up. Now they patched it up with lime. The archaeological department has patched it up with lime, but it just cracked.
Yogeshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambhakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadhashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadhashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadhashivaya Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha
Yogeshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha Yogeshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha
Below a certain level of grossness, you call it animal. Further below that, you call it inanimate. It is all the same energy. The whole creation is just a paint smear for me. And if you look at it, it's the same for you. What you call the Dhyanalinga is the result of taking energies to subtler and subtler levels. The whole process of yoga is to become less physical and more fluid, more subtle. For example, Samadhi is that state where the contact with the body is minimized to a single point, and the rest of the energy is loose, no longer involved with the body. Once energy is like this, a lot can be done with it. When the energy is stuck and identified with the body, nothing much can be done with it. All you can do is produce thoughts, emotions, and physical actions. But once the energy becomes free from physical identification, becomes fluid, so many unimaginable things can be done with it. When I say miracle, I am not talking about acts of changing one subject into another. If you can go through life untouched, if you can play with life whichever way you want and life still cannot leave a scratch on you, that is a miracle. We are working to manifest this in everyone's life in so many ways. That is also the miracle of Isha Yoga programs. The spare and energy of Dhyanalinga will create a possibility for every human being who comes in contact with it, either actually in its vicinity or just in his consciousness. If he willing to open himself, it will available to them. It will become the highest possibility for them. You have known the pleasure and convenience of modern science. So why the Dhyanalinga? It is because I want you to know the power, the liberation of another kind of science, the inner science, the yogic science, through which you can become the master of your own destiny. That is why the Dhyanalinga. A science like this gives you absolute mastery over life itself. The whole process of Dhyanalinga is just to manifest this science in such a way that it cannot ever be taken away. To manifest it also in such a way that it's accessible at any time to everyone who is willing. Not only to create your life the way you want it, but to be able to decide the very process of life, death, and rebirth. Even to the extent of deciding the womb in which you are going to be born, and ultimately being able to dissolve at will.
Building such structures has been the want of many yogis because creating tools for enlightenment, not just as teachings, not just as practices that one can do, but living tools that people can walk through, living tools by which people can be impacted towards that process, has always been the great desire of the yogis. One of them who had such a desire fixed me up for the job.
My visible proximity with him was just for a few minutes. It is in these few moments that this fabulous, crafty man enslaved me for his project. Everything that I did was around it because it was my Guru's dream and it was his vision that the Dhyanalinga has to be established.
This is my Guru's will and grace.
I think I must tell you something about the madness from where I come. After 2 lifetimes of heartbreaking sadhana, very intense, very truly heartbreaking sadhana. These 2 lifetimes, I was referred to by people as Shiva Yogi. And when it was needed, when my Guru appeared, and when he felt that he did not feel fit to touch me, he touched me with his stick. And everything that needs to be realized was realized. I was at the very peak of anything can be.
So, that being was referred to as Shiva Yogi, trying to fulfill the mission that was put into him in work. Came back again. Sadhguru Sri Brahma tried very hard, almost successful, but couldn't fix the goodwill in the society because the intensity of who he is could not be understood in the social circumstances. He couldn't fulfill that. He prepared a few people and then went up the mountain. He was checking himself. Why has he failed? He's got everything. Why is it didn't happen? He knew it's not that he lacks the competence, it's just that he did not garner the social support that was needed. So he went up the mountain for the last time. Before going up, he announced here at the foothills, a few of his disciples gathered. They said, "What now?" He said, "Even Tirpi Varvan, that means this one will be back again." And he went up the mountain for the last time. And he did a rare thing. He left his body through all his 7 chakras at the same time. He's just checking himself. He knows it's not so, but still the first blame should be on you when something doesn't work. So he's checking in case I'm not good or I'm not good enough. So he left his body through all his 7 chakras. This phenomenal energy, this very distinct energy which is nowhere else, you can experience on the 7th hell. It's very, very different from anything that you would find anywhere. It's distinctly different. So with that done, he knew what is the problem is you didn't handle the circumstance properly.
This round when we came, we planned everything.
to a point where we decided a few people that I need, where they are born, in which womb, how. Everything was planned, it went accordingly.
For people needed for the consecration, I place them in the right kind of places so that everything comes together at the right time. In spite of that, took it 18 years of preparation in this life to put it together, to put the people together, to remind them of their past, to get them there. Now, this is too fairy tale-ish for you, but this is something that's a living reality for us. So the consecration process itself took 3.5 years, a very intense process. People who witness these things, their lives are never the same again. Things that they had not imagined in their wildest dreams, they witnessed, they still can't believe that it actually happened in their presence.
Yogi Sunira, he worked through his lifetime, and towards the end of his life, when this dream of creating a perfect being remained unfulfilled, Yogi Sunira made a prophecy that long time from now, long time from now, this work that I have started will find fulfillment and reverberate, not here, but in the green hills of the south. Our hills are green. We are in the south. So whatever Sunira's prophecy has come true, but not the way he thought it would. Dhyanalinga is like a living guru. The role of a guru in a spiritual seeker's life is not just about giving teachings and guidances. The most fundamental thing why a spiritual seeker seeks a guru is because a guru can ignite his energies into a different dimension. That aspect of Guru's role in a spiritual seeker's life is very well fulfilled by the Dhyanalinga. Once a person is in the sphere of Dhyanalinga, he cannot escape the sowing of the spiritual seed of liberation within himself.
Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya
Dhyana in Sanskrit means meditation and linga means form. Dhyanalinga is a profound meditative space that does not subscribe to any particular belief or faith and requires no ritual, prayers or worship. A powerful and unique energy form, Dhyanalinga creates the possibility for every human being who comes within its sphere to experience life in its totality. The dream of many enlightened beings, Dhyanalinga was consecrated by Sadhguru after 3 years of an intense process of prana pratishtha, a pure energy process wherein the energy of all 7 chakras are raised to the peak and locked to prevent dissipation over time, a doorway to enlightenment and spiritual liberation. Dhyanalinga offers a spiritual seeker the opportunity to perform spiritual practice in utmost intimacy with the live Guru, an opportunity traditionally available only to a select few. How to go there? The Isha Yoga Center is situated 30 kilometers west of Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Coimbatore, a major industrial city in southern India, is well connected by air, rail and road. Regular flights and train services available from all major cities in India. There are direct buses between Coimbatore and the Isha Yoga Center. You can also view the bus timing timetable, link provided in the description below. Taxis can be booked from the airport as well as the railway station. Alternatively, you can contact the Isha Travel Desk to book a taxi to the center. Contact details are given below in the description. Also, you can find directions, Google Maps and many more details about this place in the description below. Dhyanalinga has been created as a very powerful presence so that the Vijnanamaya Kosha or etheric body of a person touched just by being in its sphere. To experience the Dhyanalinga, sit and gaze at the linga for a few minutes. Then close your eyes, palms facing upwards, resting upon your lap. The Dhyanalinga requires no puja, prayer or worship. Just sitting silently for a few minutes is enough to make even those unaware of meditation experience a state of deep meditativeness. To be most receptive to the Dhyanalinga, the best way to be there as an offering. To make an offering of oneself, taking a dip in the Chandrakund or Suryakund before entering the Dhyanalinga can also help enhance one's receptivity to the Dhyanalinga's energies. To maintain the silence and sanctity of the space, a bell rings every 15 minutes to indicate when you can enter and leave. Please stay for at least 15 minutes to allow yourselves to experience the energies of Dhyanalinga. And also, you can experience a special offering of sound in this Dhyanalinga. Nada Aradhana is an offering of sound that takes place twice a day, from 11:50 a.m. to 12:10 p.m. and 5:50 p.m. to 6:10 p.m. The etheric blend of flowing vocals, singing bowls, and melodious instruments enhances one's receptivity to the energies of the Dhyanalinga.